Hey, it's Jesse Perro. I am the CEO of Soap Media. We're a thriving digital marketing agency based out of Ottawa, Ontario. And we've been a client of Blue Caps for probably going on about 6 months now. And it has dramatically changed the trajectory of our business. We were growing very quickly, but now we're growing even quicker than that. In a few particular aspects I can talk to, more so on the sales side and the retention side of clients. We've seen a big difference since implementing Blue Cap, an improvement in our overall our closing ratios for new clients, as well as the retention of existing clients by making sure that by leveraging Blue Cap's artificial intelligence, that our clients are remaining as happy as possible and that they're continuing to grow with us. Quick backstory on what we do is we're a digital marketing agency. So we help businesses succeed online, everything from search engine optimization to website development, analytics, data, which is, I think, why I relate specifically to Blue Cap and what it's accomplishing every single day because we work with that data. So we've noticed the impact that it's had with our scaling. Like I said, last couple of years have been big contributor of our growth. Last 6 months in particular, since implementing Blue Cap, we've noticed a couple particular things. So one is we really start to understand when a client is happy or maybe not the happiest. And in our industry, retention is very critical because we do we retainer billing. So majority of our clients, month over month, they invest into us. So we really do strive towards keeping clients as long as possible. And one of the things that Blue Cap has enabled us to do is to really look at these conversations that our team as a whole, so not even just myself, but our entire company, and look at those conversations that are being had and try to identify a couple of things. One, as a client, sometimes clients aren't straightforward with how they're actually feeling, and we find that Blue Cap can pick up on those emotions that we may overlook ourselves due to human error. And we can kind of have those separate conversations later with them, just mentioning that we noticed something was maybe off, and it gives them an opportunity to speak to us, and then for us to retain them for much longer. At the same time, another big opportunity that we found is in those really positive conversations, looking at the data that Blue Cap gives, we actually have an opportunity to upsell our clients. So one thing that Soap Media strives for is, it's kind of a philosophy of ours, is that we aim to have 50% of our growth year over year come from existing clientele. It kind of allows us to have more skin in the game, to work in our clients' best interest. And we found so many different opportunities with the data we get back from Blue Cap with existing clients. So we've had a lot of clients, where we've gone to them and said, look, you invest $1,000 or $2,000 a month more with us. Now's a good opportunity to take that next step together, where without it, we'd kind of be guessing and we wouldn't see those opportunities. Another really big thing is the closing ratios for sales. So I know I'm talking a lot about sales because we're in a massive growth phase and I primarily deal with a lot of the sales activities. But we've noticed a really big improvement in closing ratios. And there's one functionality that I use particularly in Blue Cap that's been very supportive of that. And that's there's particular phrases that will come up in a conversation. Let's say it's price, for example's sake. Price is a very common one. They might be talking about price, but what Blue Cap will give us is some data on that. How many times was it mentioned? What is the sentiment around price? Are they very excited about the price? Are they talking about the price relative to a competitor? So that data allows us to really hone in regards to some of these rebuttals we get, and to come in and actually solve those at a much faster rate. And I think in a summary, one of the things that I could say is, before Blue Cap, I would leave a conversation and I would often talk to the team and say, I think that went well, or I think that was okay. But once again, it was what I thought. And I think Blue Cap is kind of bridging that gap for us, is that we now know how a conversation went, and we have action items as a result of that. Matter of fact, we have AI generated action items that will tell us some of the key things that our team needs to do. Not to mention that I am not the best note taker in the world. And I think a lot of our team can contest to that as well, is that note taking is a bit of a challenge, and there's often things that are missed. So now with Blue Cap takes the notes for us. It generates action items for us. Often I miss action items that need to be done, which at the end of the day impacts, client delivery. So we have all of that stored in Blue Cap, and we have sentiment analysis around everything as well. Another really nice thing is there's different cues. There's visual cues, audio related cues that we pick up when we communicate with people. Blue Cap's kind of capturing all of that. Not only do we get like a text output of these key things, but let's say the price objection example, if I were to click that, we actually have the video recording where I can see particularly where that was mentioned. Or even on proposal development, when we're developing a proposal for a client, if I know and have a rough idea somewhere in the conversation that we talked about something very specific or a particular price for the proposal, I really want to make sure I reference that. And often, whether it's myself or team members, we might forget something, those details, and we need to make sure we honor them. So Blue Cap saves us messing up and not knowing what that price of the proposal may be, and B, a ton of time just literally clicking a button, skipping to that part in the video, and looking at the visual cues as well of them saying yes or no, or nodding their head saying, $1,750 a month or $2,000 a month, whatever it may be, that they're accepting of that, and that there was some sort of mutual agreement, whether we actually send the final proposal or not at that stage. So there's a lot of different things from sales and retention that we see. Other things that we see too is just how the team interacts. So employee satisfaction. If we find that consistently, team members are, unsatisfied, or the sentiment analysis comes back and they're not very happy, it gives us an opportunity to go and talk to one of our employees and try to understand a little bit better what's going on in their world. Maybe they need to take time off. Maybe there's something that we can do better, or a software we can invest into to enable them to, take some of that load off their plate, or whatever it may be. So there's so many different, I find, use cases for Blue Cap. I come a lot from the sales side, like I said, but we're always finding new ways to implement it, new ways to leverage it, and those new ways to grow. So I'm trying to think of anything else. I think primarily it's helped our sales, it's helped our retention, it's helped our retention with our clients, and it's helped our employee satisfaction as a whole. We're constantly learning, improving as we grow out our sales team. We look at the closing ratio relative to attendance. So Blue Cap gives us that information on attendance. So if we find that some of our team members are joining calls late and they're typically not, closing business, obviously we need to look at that. If we find that 90% of the team that talks for 20% of the call closes more business, then we might tell some of our team members, well, maybe we don't need to talk so much, and maybe we need to listen instead. So that data really starts to solidify and validate theories that would be more or less just a guess without Blue Cap.